Hey guys, it's Chris Pre coming at you again, your host of the Smart Real Estate Coach podcast. I wanted to get out another solo cast today, and there was no rhyme or reason other than I keep stacking more and more stuff, I feel, on the show for you wicked smart listeners, and I sometimes catch myself doing this in the community too, and then I realize from different emails that come in, from different comments that come in at events, virtual and live, that so many of you don't really understand what we do sort of behind the scenes, behind the green curtain, and or how you can actually work with us inside or outside the community, because there are options. Even if you say, you know what, I don't want to lock arms with you guys and do deals, but hey, I run across deals from time to time. So we have options there. So let's start real basic, because again, I feel like over the years I've stacked and forgot to revisit the basics, especially with the podcast audience who I don't necessarily get to see or interact with as closely. So how can you start real estate investing with no money? I have people who order our books, who go through sometimes the free books, and I speak with them and they say, I have all this capital. And so I go, oh, wait a minute, we missed a point here, guys. After the 2008 crash, I had no credit, I had no capital, I was not bankable by any stretch of the imagination, so I had to come up with rules to buy real estate without money, without gobs of money. Now, when I say how can you start with no money, let me clarify. There's kind of two avenues here, two things. One is start can mean, hey, I want to start buying right away, right? I hope that's you. And start can also mean, hey, Chris, yeah, I do want to do something with your community, but I just don't know how to do it. I don't have the resources. So let's address both in this solo cast. As far as buying, you don't need money, so let's put that aside. We buy lease purchase, owner financing, and or subject to. Subject to means, if you're new to this whole terms niche, creative real estate niche, subject to means I'm going to buy someone's property, the loan's staying in their name, and I'm going to have the property owned by my entity, whatever that entity is. Now, might you need funds if you're buying subject to or owner financing? Yes, and here's why. In almost every case with owner financing, we're putting no money down. It's tough to say to a seller, hey, I can get you a price, I'm going to put no money down. By the way, you have to pay your own transfer tax. Okay, so that's usually the case with a free and clear property owner financing, where we're going to make monthly, principal only, mind you, payments to the owner. Now, subject to, why would you need money for that? Well, again, by and large, I see that most of the properties we've bought subject to are because a homeowner needed some financial relief, or they knew coming up soon they were going to, or they might be a couple payments in arrears. And on top of that, yes, we probably pay for the transfer tax. So lease purchase could be cool for you if you're brand new, you have zero access to funds. And I'll tell you how to get access to funds, by the way. You have zero access to funds, and or in your area, the transfer tax is onerous, and you just don't want to be dealing with that. Like in Pennsylvania, off the top of my head, there's a transfer tax selling and buying. Well, and it's for buyer and seller. So if you're getting whacked on those, you might say, hey, I'll start out new as a newbie in this world of terms, and I'll do so on a lease purchase. Because for $10, and you'll see that in our course if you don't already have it, for $10 built into the agreement, you can control a home. All right, so real simple. Now, coaching. Okay, how would I get started with coaching, Chris, if I don't have the resources? I don't care if it's with us or someone else. I'm going to give you some resources here that will build in some buffers in your life, in your business, and you can use it for, hey, I had a hiccup come on a house, unbeknownst to me, or I had a default. Buyers do default, guys. As good as we are at this, they do default. Life happens. Or you can use this for coaching. I'll give you a couple of resources, but know this, guys. The fact is, if I said to you today, and I've done this many times on stage, if I said to you today, hey, whoever can come up here and bring me $100, I'm going to pay you $200 back. So it's 100% return on your money, right? Okay. Probably the whole audience would run and do that. I've had people storm the stage to get the $100 bill out of my hand to then put $200 to get $200 returned. Why would they do that? Because I said, here's what's going to happen. It's said certain. It's with certainty. I can tell you, I can look you in the eye and say, look, if you'll be coachable, if you'll stay the course, if you'll have the attitude that you're committed no matter what and you're serious, you'll have a good experience with our community. It's plain and simple, period. So if you knew that, if you knew you couldn't fail, if you got rid of the sort of the drunk monkey in your shoulder and you got rid of the naysayers and you go, well, wait a minute, if I dip my toe in the water, I can have great success. And if you knew that without a doubt, would you then go find the resources, probably, to enter into someone's coaching program, whether it's ours or someone else? I think you would. So number one, get resourceful. Number two, I'll give you two sources here that I think you should build up yourself, business credit and just your entity growing as far as financial strength, regardless if we ever talk again. You can go to smartrealestatecoach.com/fund and grow, and they'll set you up. There's a couple of different options, but they'll set you up to have different funding rounds, to have business credit not in your social number. So fast forward 3 or 4 years, I don't care what stage you're in now, fast forward 3 or 4 years, you can have $500,000 or $1 million built up in different credit lines, and those start out at 0% interest just by building business credit, which is smart whether we ever talk again or not. I don't care if whatever business you're in right now. In the real estate world, you can and should do this. The other program, you can shop these. I have no tie to either one for you. I've done both. You can go to smartrealestatecoach.com/7 figures, the number 7 figures. Both of those companies, Fund and Grow and 7 Figures, through our affiliation, both of them can help you build business credit and or some personal stuff. I'm more interested to see you go and get after the resources to build business credit over time. So I suggest both, business and personal. I also suggest both of those resources. Now, I'd also ask you, and I know I said I'm going through basics here, but I'd also ask you to revisit your why. Like, why would you enter into the terms business? Or if you're a wholesaler, why would you add this to your present business? Or if you're a flipper, why would you add this to it? Why would you do it? And I explore that on a deep level. Like, I go deeper. I say, okay, well, why would you do that? Well, it's not for the money, guys, by the way. We got to drill deeper. I want to make this much. No. Why would you want to make that much? What will it do for you? Who else will it affect? How will you feel after that? That's what I mean by exploring your why and how badly you want it. I spent 18 of my 33 years in real estate getting paid once on a deal, and most think that's how it works. So I want to pivot here to back to the 2008 crash, and I come out and I go, okay, wait a minute. Why are we getting paid once? Why are we on this proverbial treadmill? It's like a job. And no offense, guys, but if you're wholesaling or you're flipping, it's the same thing. You're getting paid once, and it's like a job. So again, most people think that's how it works. I'm not poo-pooing on it. But it is the old way of doing real estate deals. After the crash, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to do just deals anymore and get paid once. I'm going to get paid now. Great. That's what you normally would do. I'm going to get paid monthly, sort of a cash flow stream. And then I'm going to create some long-term wealth and see that those cash outs are going to be staggered 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years out. That then created our trademark 3 payday system. Now, we'll show you how you can do the same. And let me just throw these options in real quick here. If you haven't gone through the QLS Home Study Program, it's free with almost every program we have, or you can just go to the website and buy it. You can come to the In the Trenches private boot camp we hold right here in the office, right here. We bring in like 5 to 20 people. That's it. It can't fit more than that. And you get the home study program. You get coaching with myself and Nick and Zach and one of our certified coaches for 2.25 days, like in the conference room, knee to knee with you, doing calls, getting stuff done. You can go to smartrealestatecoach.com/ITTB. ITT Bootcamp, sorry. smartrealestatecoach.com/ITT Bootcamp. You'll learn more about that. Now I'll tell you what's even better. And I don't know when you're going to be hearing this solo cast, so it might be over. And if it is, I'll invite you to email me, Chris at Smart Real Estate Coach, and I'll see if I can honor it. Because for the summertime here and then up through the event in the fall, we are running an apprentice program. And that apprentice program, you can go to 3daysapprentice.com and see. I'm not even going to try to list everything out. It's absolutely crazy. It's best minimally for you to start at the apprentice. But if you say to me, to my earlier comment in the solo cast, hey, I don't want to do any of those programs, Chris. I got a business, or I got a W-2 that I love, or whatever you do when you're retired, but you think that you probably, maybe, perhaps will run across deals in the real estate world where you can refer it to us. We have a Deal Makers Club. It doesn't require anything, but you bring deals, we get the deals done, and we pay your referrals. Okay, it just depends on your involvement, your level of experience or no experience, where you are geographically, etc. So there's all kinds of ways to work with us. That's why I open saying, whether you want to work in the community or outside the community, it's okay. We have an answer for you. What I would encourage you to do and this lovely market we're in is literally stop watching the HD TV shows, stop listening to people say you have to wholesale first if you're new. It's just, you're going to compete with thousands of other people rehabbing and wholesaling. And again, I'm not poo-pooing my good friends who have been on the show and have been on their show. Some of them have massive businesses inside those spaces. Not poo-pooing on them. I'm telling you, if you're brand new, please stop that. And stop thinking of that one paycheck and, to create another job for yourself. I mean, gosh, aren't you guys tired enough of your current job? We're showing corporate people how to exit their 5- and 6-figure jobs by creating that cash now, cash monthly, and long-term wealth with our trademark 3 payday system. So we're also showing wholesalers and rehabbers how to add this to their current business. If you're a wholesaler or a rehabber right now, there are gobs of money that you're leaving on the table. I have wholesalers and fix and flip rehabbers sending us deals every month because their lead flow is enormous, but they can only get a set amount of deals. There's so many in there that we could do together, or you could refer to us, or I can show you how to do them. Now, it's not just about doing deals. So when I started the Solocast, I said so many of you don't really, really know what we do behind the scenes. We have weekly masterminds with the associates only and the apprentices. We have private masterminds, for example, with the high-level group that I work with, High 6. And it's not just about that community. That's cool. But I bring on Dream Team members. Like on the June mastermind call not too long ago of 2024, I had Peter Taunton, our equity partner. Look Peter up. He's built one of the largest fitness brands in the world. He's sold off chunks of that twice for over $40 million each. He's one of our partners. So I put him on the calls. I want him to interact with the High 6. I want the associates to ask him questions. I want them to be in a different environment that they don't normally have access to just because they're in the Wicked Smart community. We bring Dr. Amanda in for the mindset space. And I could go on, guys, but the point is, when you get a chance to look behind the green curtain of the Wicked Smart community, it's not what it appears to be on the outside. Every single person that comes in our community goes, man, oh man, I didn't know you did all this. Why didn't you tell us? Type thing. So please take a look behind the green curtain. Go to 3paydaysapprentice.com and let you look behind the curtain. Now, there's new developments this year at the QLS Live event. New developments. Now, if you're hearing this after the event, no problem. You'll get the announcements. But I invite you, I urge you to get to the QLS Live event this year. It's in Boston, September, I think it's 23rd and 24th, whatever that Monday and Tuesday is. And you'll come out of that a different person on a lot of levels, not just about deals, remember. This is about a lot more than just doing deals. I wish it were that easy. I wish it was, I can show you how to do a deal and then you'll flourish. It's not that easy, guys. It's all this other stuff because entrepreneurship is not easy. Now, how about timing? I was on timing of the market. I was interviewing a gentleman last week on this podcast, and I don't know if the episode's out yet, but he said exactly what I've been screaming about for about 18 months now. He said, I asked him what his opinion was of the market without giving him mine, and he said, Chris, I think in the next, I'm going to mess up the quote a little bit. You'll hear the interview, but it was something to the effect of, in the next 18 months, people have a chance to set themselves up to develop literally a fortune. And I've been saying similar. I've been saying, look, if you just roll up your sleeves, get serious and committed with us for the next 2, maybe 3 years, maybe just 18 months for you. Everybody's a little different with their pace and their skill level and how quickly you can adapt to what we do. But the fact is, I said you have the chance to set up a decade of income. Some of you 2 decades. That's not far-fetched, guys. I've been saying it for a long time. So aside from the economy, let's look at some stats. Like, why is this so important? Why did I get this urge to say, I kind of want to let people know what goes on behind the scenes. And now my head's going to, well, let's throw some reality at this. Now's the best time to accumulate property, period. Despite what the media and all the negative crap you hear out there. When the masses go that way, by the way, pointedly go the opposite way. Pointedly, because the masses are not full of people that do whatever it takes every day, no matter how hard it is, to get up and go ahead and do what it takes to accomplish all their goals. They just don't. Okay, that's just not society in general. And again, I'm not poo-pooing anyone. That's just not statistically what happens to like 97% of the people. But fortunes can be created during these markets. Let me give you some stats. This was by NEFE. It was quoted, 85% of Americans confirm that some part of their personal finances is causing them stress right now. And just some common concerns. I just yanked them up on my computer here. Having enough money for emergency savings, 37% worry about that. Having enough saved for retirement, 31% worry about that. Paying for healthcare bills, 22% worry about that. Job security, among those employed, 22% worry about that. Paying off or paying down credit card debt, 21%. Paying the rent or mortgage, just making the payment, 21%. And 44% of the reported say paying bills is a top stressor. I could go on and on. I just Googled that. You could do it too. But over the weekend, the coaches and I were discussing this past weekend sort of this imaginary date, I'll call it, that so many of you, I don't care what niche you're in, whether it's with us or someone else, so many of you think about, worry about, or think that you have to test something and see how fast you can do a deal. Like I get asked all the time, well, how quick can I do a deal? I'm going to try this. No. That doesn't work, guys. You can try to do deals in any niche you want. It'll be like drilling wells and never hitting water. I'm going to go over here and try wholesale. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try this. I'm going to go over here and try this. You're going to be drilling for water and never hitting water. You're going to be spinning a lot of plates. You're going to feel like you have a job and you're never going to get a deal done. And for some of you, the frustration of not doing a deal with someone else's program is what's actually stopping you from working with us. And that's sad too. I've had 2 students. I probably have more that I don't know of. But I have 2 students in the Wicked Smart community, 2 members, that spent 6 figures before they met us. 6 figures on other programs and didn't do a single deal and had success with us. Now, can you do at least one deal in the next 12 months? I don't know. Can you do at least one deal the next 2 or 3 years? 100%. I'm being a little facetious, but I don't know you yet. I don't know what skill sets. I don't know what baggage mentally. Like I had baggage coming out of the crash. I get it. It took me 4 years to get out of my head to get back in the game and crush it. 4 years. So it takes time. And you could say it took me 4 years to do a creative real estate deal. That's reality. Until I then get after it. And then I did 12 or 13 in my first 6 months. But it was 4 years of, oh, woe is me. The market did this, blah, blah, blah. Your deals, whether you do a deal right away or not, are not tied to your success metrics. They're really not. So stop right now and write down, if you're with us or you're with someone else and you've had some struggles, doesn't matter. Write down all the stuff you've learned. Write down all the lessons. Write down all the mistakes you've learned from. Like, if you didn't do a deal, there's lessons and mistakes there that you learn from, right? And it's like you're in school. All you're doing is you're stacking that education. So if you're talking to me and you go, yeah, but I don't know about buying another program. Look, treat that as your college education or your elementary school education, depending on how good or bad it was, and then say, good, I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to go pro. I'm ready to go in the Wicked Smart community. That's how it sort of is. And I alluded to earlier that business is hard. Well, it's hard. Entrepreneurship is difficult. So let's kind of make sure we always check in on our basics. And I'm sort of talking to you if you're brand new and seasoned here, and I'm trying to mix it. But always, always, always check in on your basics. I used to always say you're blocking and tackling. I didn't play football, but that's the analogy I give. Blocking and tackling, so to speak. Now, I think back to the original, say, high 6 group that I ever started. And my wife used to say to me, well, what makes so-and-so the most successful you've had, Chris? Or, hey, tell me who's killing it in the community right now. What are their traits, right? What's going on? Now, we do have a video. It's called The 8 Traits of a Successful Associate. It's in our private ARC, which is an associate resource center. We call it ARC. If you email me, chris@smartrealestatecoach.com, I'll get you that video because it's not public. It's on our protected area where the associates can go. But the things that are in there are things like, look, you want to get really good at this? Send us call critiques so we can help you critique the call. The very next call, you get better. On the mastermind calls every week and with the group calls every week. Attending office hours. Office hours is this forum we have where they can just come and ask questions. Come in for office visits. That's been replaced by the In the Trenches boot camp. I gave you the link earlier. smartrealestatecoach.com/ITT bootcamp. These are just traits, guys. Traits. YouTube. We have 3 PlayStations, so to speak. We have Motivation Monday, Q&A Thursday, and Deal Structure Sunday. Well, bare minimum, if you just watch those 3 videos each week, it's going to take you about a half hour, not even. They run from like 3 to 8 minutes each. The deal structures, there's like 400 something of them. We've been doing them since 17 or 18. And then last but not least, and I could keep going, what could make you successful, but you want to get accredited by the Creative Financing Real Estate Association. You get accredited by going through our QLS Home Study course. There's a quiz at each module. If you haven't gone through that and you own the course, get through it. If you don't own the course, I can't imagine for the life of me why. Again, it comes free with almost everything we do, but if you want to dip your toe in and just go to the course, that's fine too. You can go get that off the website. You can email me. You can email support@smartrealestatecoach, anything you need. Now, I said entrepreneurship is hard. Well, that's why a large percentage of North America, let's say, has a W-2, right? Because that's not hard, despite, some stressful days that you don't like your boss or whatever. That's not hard compared to entrepreneurship. Now, I'm going to be careful in my next comment. I'm looking at my sticky note here. This might piss some of you off, but here's a fact. If you're saying things like, well, I'll do a deal to make sure this works, or I'll try it, or I'll dip my toe in the water, or if I can get a deal, then I'll go really aggressive at this. I could go on and on with excuses, but you may as well stop. I said it earlier, but sorry, it's not going to work for you. You got to commit, whether it's with us or whether it's mobile homes, or I don't care what niche you go in. I'm trying to just give you general advice. You got to commit and say, I'm getting after this, and I'm going to obsess over this, and I'm going to get resourceful about this, and I'm going to pull out all stops, and I'm going to make this work. There's no looking back. After I came out of the crash, there was no, well, I'm going to see if this works. No, I had to get after it. I needed funds like I needed water. So I'd invite you to have that kind of mentality. And I want to read you a quote here. Let me pull it up. Let me just really quick pull it up. Okay. Make no little plans. They have no magic to stir a man's, and I of course change that to a person's blood, and probably will not themselves be realized. Make big plans, aim high in hope and in work. Sorry, I wrote anonymous. I don't know where I pulled that. Because I can tell you, as far as making plans, one of the things that I see crippling people is just indecision. Like here we are, we're one halfway at 2024. At the end of June, I'm putting this together for you. Actually, a few weeks after that. And I was looking through my journal, and I found this old piece from Winston Churchill, and I had done like a rant about it. I do rants to the Slack community, which is another benefit to me in the community. But Winston Churchill talked about decisions and decision-making, and he called it the long road of agony and how indecision just cripples people. And I like that he called it the long road, right, quote unquote, because if you can't make a decision, it actually feels like and becomes like long, tedious, strenuous, non-productive, grueling process. And we can all get caught up in things like, I said some of these earlier, but other people's opinions, confirmation bias, where our brain, I have past videos on this if you want to look on YouTube, but where our brain kind of looks for confirmation of our doubt and our negativity and our indecision. Like that's what that, in the media crap, all this stuff. So for 24 and 25 and beyond, I have a simple thought for you. How about you master the art of making decisions with clarity, with confidence? Clarity alone, by the way, it will bring you exponential growth. You just need sometimes some help to find that. And now, why do I say this? Because when you do that, the agony that Winston Churchill refers to, it leaves. It's from indecision. So here are 4 sort of ways to help you bring clarity and confidence to your decisions that I personally use. And I'm just going to go through them briefly. Number 1, decide if the decision is major or minor so that you can allocate the proper time to it, like right now. So for example, will this move the needle for me and my family like this quarter? Is it health related? Is it 5 years out? Really, really life altering now? Is it, put it all in perspective. Is it major or minor so that you allocate the right time? Second, what is the sort of the cost and the time and the return for you? Return on time, let's say. Because it does require that you sort of remove the emotion to find it and then make it emotional. So for example, I know if I invest X in a training program, statistically, my odds are way better than 50%. Now for us, I think 83% of our associates are active, so a little bit better. And hypothetically, the return is X. Talk to our associates, but you'll hear 100%, 300%. Okay, good decision, good return, good time frame. You see where I'm going with that? And then you can also say, all right, well, what's the cost now versus delaying? Because some people say, well, I'll get to that next year, and the next year I'll get to that the following year. There's a cost of money. Now, could it be 3 times more in 5 to 7 years from now? I don't know. Look, just our programs alone have gone up as cost and proof of concept has gone up. So there is a time cost, right, of money. How about a cost of just a single program or a seminar? Like what's after it? Set up some follow-up and not just leave hyped up, right? There's a cost to a seminar. There's a cost to doing nothing. So I could go on and on with that. But number 3, it's sort of the I should have or I'm super glad I did syndrome, right? Hey, you fill in the blank. when I am 80 years old, I will be super glad that I blank. Or will there be regret there? I don't know. I hope it's I'm going to be super glad. You could talk to our associates, especially our certified coaches who all came into our community just like anyone else does and then grew and left their jobs. You can talk to them and they'll all say, yeah, I am super glad I did that because I don't have to go report to anyone anymore. And I don't have to get up every day and worry about a job. I can be with my family, on and on and on. So last but not least on these suggestions, I said there was 4. You fill in the blank again. Use a mentor, either a mentor you have or an imaginary mentor from online or something you read about. What would blank do? What would whoever you perceive to be your mentor? What would Joe Vitale do from The Secret? What would, use a figure, public figure, if whoever you like, what would blank do? And then ponder on that for a little bit. And then for 24 and 25 and beyond, doesn't matter what year you're hearing this, I hope you've sort of shed some of the old layers just by going through this exercise with me or listening to this rant with me. Like I guess I'd liken it to an onion, right? There's layers that may have been holding you back. Whether you know it or not, it's me too, it's everyone. It's interesting as we get older, though, the layers of the onion, so to speak, can build up and they don't get peeled off. Scary, actually. I was with Dr. Joe Vitale, which is why his name was on my mind, recently. And we were talking about how we all have the ability to make decisions literally every day and that it can and will affect us in one way or another. So it was interesting because we were talking, filming a program together and just kibitzing. And we got into this chat about, hey, if you're not happy, just freaking change it. And then he said, you know what, Chris? My mentor once reminded me, and he went back in his time frame here. He said, the bus leaves every day. And he likened it to his hometown when he was growing up, and the bus would leave every day. And he said, if you don't like where you are, if you don't like your circumstances, if you don't like your results, get on a freaking different bus. What are you waiting for? It was such a cool thing. Get on a different bus. What are you waiting for? Now, some of you are on the Wicked Smart Community bus already. Congrats. But in my recent rant I put out on Slack, I asked you if you were on the full-time bus or if you had a plan to do so. It's a little bit deeper question than just the bus. Because some of you are riding it part-time and you're tinkering. And for those of you not in our Wicked Smart Community, it's okay. But decide which bus inside the real estate world you want to be on and decide ASAP. Time's ticking. I told you the recent interview I had on my show, the guy's like, yeah, this is the time. Like you gotta jump on this now. So why not determine, for example, what it will take to escape your W-2 or escape your present circumstances that you don't like and get on the right bus. And for some of you, ride it full-time eventually. We'll show you how to do that. We can help you sort of bridge that gap between part-time and full-time. That's not an issue. We've done it many times with people. Or if you're wholesaling or flipping, decide how to add this. How to take a different bus and keep the other one in place. Let us help you. In fact, I'd love to talk to you guys personally. I've been doing this on this show recently, and it's been quite fun to talk to you live. It doesn't cost you 10 cents. I personally want to talk to you. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/Chris Pre-Call. That's CHRISPRE call. I want to chat with you. You can, on your own, go ahead and apply for associate if you want on our website. You can go to the 3daysapprentice.com if you want and apply for that. I don't know the best path for you yet until we talk, and I'm happy to do that. And if you don't want to speak with me, I won't be sad, but speak with someone who's done it. Don't speak with someone who hasn't done it. Speak with someone who's done it. In fact, if you want to speak with me, when we get off the call, not only will I help you with your journey, if we never talk again, I'll also give you some of the associates to speak with from different geographic areas, from different backgrounds, came into the community different ways. I'll let you speak to them. It'll be fun for you because you have an idea of what's going on. Different backgrounds, different financial circumstances, etc. Guys, I could keep going. It's been a good, I don't know what this has been, 20, 25 minutes. That does wrap up our solo cast, and I encourage you to take action in the biggest way, to pick the right bus, to get obsessed in a positive way about what you can create for you and your family, and allow us to help you. I hope this helped you understand a little bit more behind the green curtain. I hope you helped you understand a little bit more about what's in my brain here as we get back through 24 and into 25. And I can't wait. This is my last comment. I can't wait to create a new story with you. I've reached out to individuals in the past 5 years, 2 or 3 a year, and I've said, hey, I want to create a story with you. I want you to be the one we're talking about with $100,000 paydays and all this cool stuff we can do. So if that's you and you think you want to be committed and serious and you think you want to work with me personally, reach out. We'll talk about it. and I guarantee you'll have an amazing experience. smartrealestatecoach.com/Chris Pre-Call. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Real Estate Coach podcast. If you're ready to invest in yourself and take your investing to the next level, check out our 90-day Jumpstart program by going to smartrealestatecoach.com/jump. That's smartrealestatecoach.com/jump, because now is the time to act boldly in this unprecedented market shift.